Some leftists in Finland here. How are y'all doing? I'm not doing too bad. Been thinking about birth rate again, of course, because it does get brought up with some frequency in the news here in Finland. The birth rate, population decline, really, really weak population growth. I couldn't imagine why. I'm not saying Finland is a bad country, but compared to some other places on this earth, um, there are places that are a lot less hostile towards immigrants. There are places that are a lot warmer, a lot less dark. You could do better. I think, and I would say the same thing about any country that I ended up in. So all of you nationalist Finns, don't start throwing eggs and tomatoes at your screens or whatever. I'd be saying the same about any other country. I've said this a billion times and I'll say it again. I'm a borderless person. I do not like the concept of borders. I think they're ridiculous. And one of the reasons I think that borders are ridiculous is because you run into problems like having a low birth rate to prop up, or having a low birth rate and not having enough people to prop up your economy in the future. I'm not talking about the here and now. I'm talking about the future, the projections, and all the things that are being said about people going into retirement and people just being flat out dead. By about 2031 to 2034, the population of this country is going to start steadily declining. And you're going to need some more people to make up for that decline, but you've got a lot of nationalists here who don't use their brains. Nationalists who don't think rationally, which is not, it's really nothing new if you're a nationalist. You're only thinking about your country and how entitled you are because you were born here. You just happen to be born here by chance, and so on and so forth. So when you're a nationalist, you're not thinking about how you can solve the problems your country is going to face well into the future with outside help. You're thinking about how this country is going to do it on your own. And Finland, it ain't happening. So the government will, actually, no, I'll start to rephrase that. The government isn't doing a whole hell of a lot to make having kids right now very enticing. Not really. What right now is happening that a 20-something or 30-something couple, that would make a 20-something or 30-something couple go, you know what? Right now is a really good time to bring more humans into this world. Granted, there are a lot of factors outside of the Finnish government's control, but if they want to keep saying they need more babies every goddamn year, they need to make it a little bit more enticing for people to have babies. Me, personally, still not happening. Yeah, people have been telling me for about 2 decades now, you're going to change your mind on that. You're going to want kids one day. Not in this world. Not on this fucking planet. No way. No way. And the reasons I'm not having kids are the same reasons that everybody else has, probably. The state of the world, the state of the economy, how little the working class is appreciated in this world, and the way that money controls everything and we can't do a goddamn thing about it. How capitalism has failed in so many ways, and yet we continue to push the same policies, continue to make the same mistakes that we never learn from. So why in the hell would I want another generation to suffer even more than we are currently, us and Gen Z? The things that we have on tap, like climate change, for example, nobody listened. They listened when they found a hole in the ozone layer, and the hole in the ozone layer is actually getting better. Go Google it. It is. But it doesn't mean we're not fucked. It doesn't mean that anything that scientists have been telling us for decades has been postponed. Those things are still going to happen. Major flooding of coastal areas being wiped off the map, stronger and more frequent storms, hurricanes, tornadoes, what have you, warming all over the place. You'll have worse winter storms. You will have less ecodiversity. So many things. The list goes on and on and on. And all these things have been big. Coral bleaching, big red flags. And if nobody's fucking listening and nobody's doing anything, if corporations aren't going to show responsibility, if the people who have all the fucking money aren't going to show any responsibility, why should I bring more humans into this world that they own and only want to protect and enrich for themselves? They don't want to enrich the lives of the working class, the people who When they talk about the movers and the shakers, the working class, those are the movers and the shakers. Not the rich assholes. I mean, they are by default, but the real movers and shakers, the working class. What is any government on this earth doing to help bolster their financial position in this world to the point where they think, yeah, I can have kids? And I'm not just talking about right now. This population problem is not just COVID related. It's not just inflation related. This is a problem that Finland has had and has known that they're going to have for a long, long time. And yet they continue to let nationalist right-wing scumbags who despise everything immigration, whether it's work-based, family-based, study-based, whatever, they don't want people here. They just don't. The perussuomalaiset, the far-right douchebags, they do not want people here. And you need people here to run the fucking machines. And people will say, well, you can automate everything. Cool, automate everything. But what are you going to do for the people who find themselves out of work? What if you can't reintegrate them into another profession? Which will probably be the case for a lot of people. Especially in like older workers. That'll just give them more incentive to take their pensions. And they're already taking their pensions a lot quicker because they've gone up. So they want to strike while the iron's hot, take their pension, they're out of the workforce. And now you've got more complaining from the government and from, you know, I'm not going to say that I've heard anybody from government actually complain that, oh, not enough people are having babies. But for it to be in the news as often as it is, somebody somewhere is talking about it. And I don't think that with the state of the world and the way that it's been for like the past couple decades, I don't know how you're really going to entice people unless things start to change on a wide scale level. Not this incremental bullshit that happens with governments like the center party here in Finland, which is, you know, done nothing of note over the past, I don't know, couple of decades. They still can't get the trans bill through, for fuck's sakes. It's stalled again. The one that says that you have to be sterilized if you want to go through gender reassignment surgery. Just total bullshit like that in a progressive country, still just sitting there waiting for somebody to actually give enough of a fuck to look at it. And now that the right wing is coming in to ruin everything, I don't have any sort of I don't feel all that great about them taking a look at it either. So when you've got incremental change or no change at all, when you've got progressivism or neoliberalism under the guise of progressivism, or in other words, more of the same, status quo, business as usual. And when you've got people with less purchasing power, you've got low consumer confidence, and you've got this fucking war going on, and you've got COVID going on, you've got people who don't care enough to keep themselves boosted. So COVID's just going to keep going around and around and around. Case in point, China. Case in point, the new variant's happening. This isn't doomerism. This isn't me just bringing up a bunch of negative things to, you know, be like, haha, we're all fucked. This is just basic reading of statistics. I've been called a doomer before on this channel, and it's really strange because I don't view myself that way at all. I view myself as somebody who acts based on facts, and the facts are that this country and many, many others need to start making it more enticing for people to have children. And the factors just are not there. And I don't know if they ever will be there. Another case in point, Finland had this thing called the baby box, and they still do. It's a box that they give to mothers after their child is born, especially mothers who may not be quite so wealthy. They make cuts to that even. So it's a sign of the times. It really is a sign of the times. I know it's just a really small thing, but that's just another sign that, you know, the population in this country is just going to keep going down, and immigration is going to go down, and they're going to have to think of some way to keep the machines running and to keep the economy going, because you know, I just can't think of any good reason for anybody to go through all of the financial and physical bullshit of having kids if they're just going to see a world of despair and even worse income inequality than we currently have, and poverty and climate change based, just all of that stuff. Yeah. And somebody's really trying hard to get a hold of me right now, so have a good day, folks.